If you cross the Gardner-Randolph Bridge into the town of Randolph, the landscape quickly transitions from a compact downtown to the dense rising woodlands that border the Kennebec River. Tucked away behind the residential streets is the old narrow-gauge volunteer trail, a recreational footpath that follows the historic bed of the Kennebec Central Railroad. This was once a 2-foot narrow-gauge line, a small and specialized railway that fit the modest industrious scale of the valley, while it is now a place for quiet walking. It remains deeply linked to the 2004 disappearance of a local man, a local figure known as Bicycle Larry. In small Maine towns, or just small towns in general, certain people become part of the daily rhythm simply by being there. For years, Lawrence Farrell was that person for the Randolph and Gardner area. He was a constant fixture on the local roads, a familiar silhouette pedaling a red Huffy bicycle through the communities along the Kennebec River. Farrell moved between Augusta, Chelsea, Gardner, and Randolph, navigating the edges of a place that knew him best by the steady rhythm of his bicycle pedals. Though he lived a quiet, transient life, his presence became a familiar part of the river towns. That familiarity made his sudden absence in the fall of 2004 all the more noticeable. The mystery began in October 2004. At first, no one was worried that Larry had drifted out of sight. He often moved between shelters and the homes of acquaintances, and people in the community were used to him disappearing for stretches of time before turning up again. It wasn't until he failed to collect his monthly benefits that concern began to grow. By December, what had started as a missing persons case became a full-blown criminal investigation. Then the case took a chilling turn. A local man named Norris Perry died by suicide, but before taking his own life, he left a voicemail for his sister. In the message, Norris claimed he had killed Farrell and hidden the body near Togus Stream, which winds through the woods surrounding the town. The search was stalled by the onset of winter, the ground hardening before the truth could be uncovered. When investigators finally returned to the woods and waterways in the spring of 2005, they found nothing. Despite a confession that pointed to a specific location, no physical evidence was ever located. To this day, neither Lawrence Farrell nor his bicycle has ever been found. It is the absence of that bicycle, the object most closely associated with him, that remains the most haunting detail of the case. In the years since, the story has shifted from a police report into a piece of local folklore. The old narrow-gauge volunteer trail, with its steep embankments and abandoned railroad history, now sits at the center of the legend. Locals speak of the ghost of the narrow gauge, and hikers sometimes report hearing the metallic clicking of bicycle gears in the brush, or catching sight of a lone cyclist moving through the trees at twilight, gone before anyone can get a clear look. Today, there is a heavy contrast between the peaceful, well-maintained trail and the unresolved tragedy that took place near its edge. The iron rails and wooden ties are long gone, but the memory of Lawrence Farrell remains. It reflects how a community carries a story that has no ending, where facts eventually soften and blend into the landscape. Standing near the banks of Togus Stream, it isn't difficult to feel how the woods can hold on to a person's story, keeping the truth just out of reach.